This is CBC Here and Now.
Private Ryan's returning home.
It's a homecoming, a century in the making.
There are history.
Mass killing south of the border.
There was a police officer who had showed up who had been shot in the leg.
The stories of people from this province who are in Vegas.
Racing cars sounds like a deadly time on a Sunday.
We'll tell you the good cause that drove these racers to take to the streets.
Lingering drizzle and cloud cover hanging on over the eastern half of the island through tonight into tomorrow morning, but high pressure means sunshine and some sunglasses in your future. The details coming up.
Our top story tonight, the deadliest mass shooting in U.S. history.
At least 58 people, including 2 Canadians, were killed at a concert in Las Vegas last night.
Over 500 people were injured after a lone gunman opened fire on a crowd at a country music festival. Police identified the shooter as 64-year-old Stephen Craig Paddock. He had 19 guns when he opened fire on the crowd from the 32nd floor of a building overlooking the concert. Police believe Paddock then killed himself.
2 Newfoundlanders were in the area when the chaos broke out. Jen Shears and Barb Sparks from Rocky Harbour have a harrowing tale to tell after spending hours on lockdown. The CBC's Ariana Kelland was speaking with both women today. She joins us now live from the newsroom. So, Ariana, where are these women now?
Well, they are staying at the Shears hotel room at the MGM Grand, but last night they were at Top Golf, a recreation facility just 2 kilometers away from where this deadly shooting took place. Now, this is Jen Shears with her 4-year-old daughter just hours before the shooting. They were on lockdown at Top Golf for hours, fearing that a shooter was on the loose.
There were a lot of sirens, and I mean, in Vegas, sirens are a common thing, but they just kept going, and then the looks on the faces of all the people who worked there, you know, really reconfirmed that this is something different, something unique about this incident. Our daughter, she could kind of sense that things were going a bit awry, and we were trying to distract her with her iPad, but we were glad that she had it at that point. And she could tell, though. She said, "I'm not coming back here anymore. There are too many emergencies."
Now, Barb Sparks is a nurse from Rocky Harbour, and she helped people who were fleeing the scene. She describes helping a woman who was having an asthma attack because she had to run so far to get away from the chaotic shooting. And she also describes seeing an off-duty police officer who was shot in the leg.
It was very nerve-wracking, and to see the horror on people's faces, they were so upset. Saying they just ran. They don't know how they got here. They had to climb fences. They had to do this. They were, very upset. One lady, her jeans were tore all the way down. She ripped it on the fence trying to get here. So it was kind of almost too real.
People without shoes, bloodied feet, bloodied hands from scaling fences and everything, just trying to escape. If I ever thought I saw shell-shocked faces, I was mistaken. I saw them for the first time last night.
Now, we do know that there were Newfoundlanders at the concert itself. One of those people, Andrew Bragg, spoke with me just a short while ago. He says that he and 3 friends from the Torbay area ran away after hearing the second round of gunfire, and that they hid in a dumpster until they could flee to safety. Now, they are safe, and to the best of our knowledge, the other Newfoundlanders who were at the concert are also safe, but of course, like many others, left with the memories of what happened last night. Reporting live, I'm Ariana Kelland in St. John's.
There was an emotional homecoming at the rooms in St. John's today. This century-old photograph and death notice of Private Herbert Ryan that Here and Now told you about last week was returned to his family. Here and Now, CBC's Mark Quinn was there and brings us this report.
This is what Steve Brace's father, Sandy Brace, found in the St. John's dump more than 2 decades ago. A photograph of Private Herbert Lewis Ryan and a certificate saying he died in France near the end of World War I. Last week, Brace did some research and found Herbert Ryan's family's phone number in St. John's.
I just felt that it was the wrong place to be in the dump, and I knew that there was somebody out there that would value it. Hello, Mr. Ryan. I have something for you.
Today, he met Private Ryan's family at the Rooms. Private Ryan, a Newfoundlander who served and died with the Canadian military, was Norman Ryan's uncle. Deeply moved, Norman Ryan was unable to speak on camera. His daughter spoke for the family.
They hold a good spot in our heart. Like, we would never throw anything like that away. But they're going back to the home where he grew up in.
Herbert Ryan was born in Blackhead, Conception Bay North. He served from 1914 to 1918. His grave is in France, but he's remembered at this monument in his hometown too. His brother, Orlando Ryan, Norman Ryan's father, also fought in World War I. He served with the Nova Scotia Highlanders, and this is where the story takes another unexpected twist. Surprisingly, the very hat that Orlando Ryan wore during the war was displayed on the wall in the Rooms where we spoke.
They're our history, and both my great uncle, who's shown here, and my grandfather both served in the First World War. So it's nice to have him. He's going back home.
The Ryans say they remember seeing these items before, but now they have no idea how they ended up in the dump. The son of the man who saved them says his father, Sandy Brace, will be pleased with what's happened.
He's going to be really proud. Proud that he did keep those. He went to the dump and picked them up and brought them home.
Now that contact has been made with staff at the archives too, the Ryans say more of their family's history may someday enrich the Rooms collection, safe from the dump for everyone to see. Mark Quinn, CBC News, St. John's.
A man once accused of a string of notorious crimes in Halifax has now attracted the attention of police in St. John's. In 2012, Barry Edward Sinclair was found not guilty of charges related to the so-called sleep watcher case. But a Nova Scotia judge convicted Sinclair of another break-in and sentenced him to 5 years. Now, he served that time and is now living in Newfoundland, where police believe he will re-offend. Here Now's Rob Antle reports.
Barry Edward Sinclair was at provincial court in St. John's this morning. He hasn't actually been accused of committing a crime in this province, but the Royal Newfoundland Constabulary believes he will, so they want a judge to issue a type of peace bond against him. Sinclair has a long criminal history, with past convictions for sexual assault, indecent exposure, and trespassing at night. In 2011, he broke into a Halifax apartment. A woman who lived there woke up when she heard her bedroom door open and saw a shadowy figure who fled. Sinclair accidentally left his cell phone behind. It was a key piece of evidence against him. He got a sentence of 5 years for that break-in. But Sinclair had also been accused of committing other crimes. Women in Halifax said they woke up to find a man watching them, a man who ended up being called the Sleepwatcher. Sinclair was found not guilty of charges related to the Sleepwatcher case, but police in St. John's are now worried he will re-offend and commit a serious personal injury offense. So they want a judge to put him on a strict set of conditions before he can do that. A hearing was scheduled to be held today but got postponed. The matter is now due back in court later this month. Rob Antle, CBC News, St. John's.
Well, after weeks of speculation, Pete Soucy is saying so long to his alter ego Snook. That's if he's elected as an MP. The actor and comedian announced today he's seeking the federal Liberal nomination in the Bonavista Buren Trinity riding. Soucy hopes to succeed Judy Foote, who announced her resignation from politics in August. Soucy ran for the Liberals back in 1999 in the district of Signal Hill-Quidi-Vidi, but came in second to then NDP leader Jack Harris. While he doesn't currently live in the riding, he says he and his wife are considering a move.
I taught in Clarenville for a number of years, and I've been spending a lot of time down around the Marystown area, and I have a great understanding of the area from all of the calls I took as a radio host over the years, so I do have an appreciation for the issues and concerns as much as perhaps anybody living in any one part of the riding.
Would you move there? Is that what you're indicating, that somewhere in the district if you do get elected?
We're certainly discussing that, absolutely. There are many places I've always wanted to spend more time in, and I've been looking at places as I've been going around the last few weeks, so that could very well be in the cards.
Well, in national politics, the new leader of the federal NDP got down to business today in Ottawa. Jagmeet Singh presided over a caucus meeting just one day after winning the party's leadership. Singh won on the first ballot in Toronto with 54% of the vote. The 38-year-old lawyer and Ontario MPP becomes the youngest NDP leader in history.
And Singh is Sikh and also the first person of color to lead a major political party in Canada. He says he'll focus on 4 main issues: inequality, climate change, reconciliation, and electoral reform. And Debbie, you met the new NDP leader.
Yes, he was here in the studio. That was back in June when all of the NDP candidates came to town. He spoke a bit about his Newfoundland connection and why he doesn't mind standing out in a crowd.
I lived here for about 5 years in St. John's, and I was on Waterford Bridge Road, right across from Bowering Park, where while my father was going to medical school, there was on-campus residence for students that were medical students. And so I grew up playing in Bowering Park. It's where I first learned how to ride a bike. It's where I first learned how to swim. And so I have lots of fond memories of St. John's and Newfoundland and Labrador.
And I read that your brother and sister were actually born here.
They're true, born here, Newfoundland and Labrador folks, yes, indeed. When I was young here, you know, the East Coast hospitality is well known, so I didn't remember a lot of difficulties in St. John's. It's when I grew older and I started wearing a turban that I noticed some of that difficulty. And so for me, clothing became kind of social armor, a way to distract or maybe diffuse or disarm people who had negative stereotypes. So I'd use kind of a cool looking suit and a bright turban as a way to engage conversation.
Well, he does stand out.
He certainly does.
Yeah, we're going to hear a lot more from him for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, Ryan, the day started out, pretty warm, but it really cooled off.
Yeah, temperature dropped, cloud cover moved in, even a bit of spotty drizzle here in the metro region, and there's a big player on the weather field. And as we take a look at the satellite and radar, you can see where we've got the rain for the most part is offshore, but it's just close enough that we are seeing a few spits. And again, it's this low, primarily tracking to the east of us tonight, but enough to throw some cloud cover into the mix. And yeah, a bit of drizzle that will work its way up as far as Bonavista, the Avalon, Clarenville. These will be the regions that have the chance of seeing some drizzle through the overnight tonight and in through your morning commute tomorrow. Area of high pressure coming in from the west will clear things out for everybody else. And we'll get into some pretty chilly overnight lows. Central western parts of Newfoundland will run the risk of some frost tonight. And that's an interesting part of the forecast because you're not hearing any frost advisories. Well, that's because the calendar now reads October. So no longer frost advisories issued for the island, but expect low temperatures tonight to dip to and near the freezing mark for central western Newfoundland, especially in low-lying areas, and across southern parts of Labrador as well. Here in St. John's with that cloud cover and that drizzle in the mix, I think we're talking about an overnight low near 4. Mm-hmm. More on tomorrow's details, which again stays kind of cool in the east, in just a few minutes.
Yeah, well, it was a beautiful Sunday in St. John's for sure, and that's when some speedsters took over part of downtown to fundraise for the Autism Society.
25 teams collected money for the cause before putting on their helmets and racing the go-karts near City Hall. And of course, our Jeremy Eaton just had to check it out.
Well, we really wanted to give it more high profile, more high exposure, and obviously we needed to change the venue. So having it in city streets of St. John's, first of all, has never been done before in the province, so we're very proud. And I think the sentiment is here today that you can see the benefits of it. We're getting embraced by the corporate community. Mayor-elect Danny Breen is here as well. We have a lot of community involvement. We have the support of the Downtown Business Association. So this is really a signature event. It's a new creative event, building on the events of past years. And already just talks about next year maybe incorporating that into the St. John's Day or a Canada Day celebrations. One of the aspects of fundraising as well is actually generating a higher profile and advocacy for those families affected by autism. So as you can tell with this event today, we have like Farrell's Racing here, we have G-Force Karting, of course our youth sponsor, and those are huge supporters of us, and without that this event wouldn't happen today. So this is huge for us. This is what we rely on, and at the same time it gives us a connection to the community and attracts more people to tell our story about all the great work we do with the Autism Society.
She convinced me to do this, and I don't know, racing cars sounds like a deadly time on a Sunday, you know.
What was it like to race the cars here in downtown St. John's?
Awesome.
Well, this Airbus 380 has been here on the runway since Saturday afternoon after it had an emergency landing. We'll see just what happened on board that plane as it was making that harrowing landing coming up on Here and Now.
Welcome back to Here and Now. It looked like something from the movies. The world's largest passenger aircraft blew one of its 4 engines mid-flight. 500 passengers were on the Air France flight to LA from Paris when they had to make an emergency landing in Happy Valley Goose Bay. And while the passengers are long gone, the plane remains. Here Now's Jacob Barker is live from Happy Valley Goose Bay. So Jacob, what is the latest?
It's hard to miss the Airbus A380 that's been sitting out on this runway since Saturday afternoon. After all, it is the largest passenger jet in the world, and there was no shortage of people that were capturing that harrowing landing as the plane flew in on Saturday, both on and off the plane. What you're about to hear here is a passenger, a pilot, and air traffic control that were speaking as that event unfolded.
Air France 066 Super, Mayday, number 1, report at week.
Terrified. White knuckling definitely the seats, looking around. Thankfully, we didn't smell any smoke or anything to that sense, but automatically I fly a lot, like I said. So when you know it's not turbulent, you automatically fear for the worst, unfortunately. So, until we got to safe land, it was pretty much always that way, not knowing how we were going to land or anything like that.
Air France 006 Super, Mayday, confirm we are clear for approach, aircraft 26, and we are clear for descent.
Air France 6A from at your discretion.
The exit sign was flashing. But we just had a very quick drop. The captain was good about stabilizing the aircraft after that.
Red pack, caution jet blasts, and proceed on runway 26. And no trouble to tell what engine had trouble.
You get a little panic when you see them frantically going up and down, but when they talked to you, they were definitely reassuring and that we're going to be okay.
Continue to parking, Air France 066 Super, Mayday.
Be advised the emergency fire rescue will follow you to parking. Okay, be advised the vehicles behind you are picking up parts of your cowling, and we will retrieve them and bring them to your aircraft as well.
Ground Air France 066 Super, we will maintain position. We request an engine 4 inspection for any leaks before continue taxiing.
Okay, I check you're going to hold your position there to do an inspection. I will advise.
Thankfully, we had a good crew that was keeping everyone calm, and we were able to have a smooth landing.
So the passenger you heard there, Sarah Amy, has gotten back to Los Angeles safe and sound, but only after about 35 hours after she left originally from Paris or at the beginning of the day on Saturday. There's no shortage of people here in town that are investigating it. The Canadian Transportation Safety Board, as well as the American and French officials, are also here investigating. And as for when this plane is going to make a trek out of here, we're not sure about that either. Reporting live for Here and Now in Happy Valley Goose Bay, I'm Jacob Barker.
A softball tournament was held in Brigus over the weekend to honor the lives of 2 young people killed in a tragic car crash. In August, Mikey Ryan Jr. and his parents, Michael and Paula, died after the vehicle they were in struck an SUV driven by an 18-year-old, Sarah Stride, who also lost her life. People who had never met the victims but shared Mikey's passion for softball organized the tournament and a food drive. Here's some of what took place on Saturday.
We just did it. He was on his way home, actually, Mikey was, from a ball tournament, and we were playing ball. We all like a game, the weather was good, and I lost a son, so I know what it's like. You want to keep the memory alive, so this is one way of doing it. And hopefully, with this kind of turnout, it's going to be an annual event.
They wanted me here to participate in the food drive. Sarah's father is a member of the RCMP, so we wanted to definitely show our support to him and the Mikey Ryan family. Well, in the RCMP, we're a big family across the whole country, but especially here in Newfoundland. We're a small division. We don't have as many members in other places, and we all know each other. We've all met at some point in time. It's really important that as a family we come together and support one of our own, especially during such a tragic time.
Tell me a little bit about the number 8.
That's Mikey's number. That was on his jersey. So everybody on the field has their symbol on the right sleeve.
Oh, Chris. The RNC says supports for officers is much better now than in the past. We'll hear how police are recognizing Mental Illness Awareness Week after the break.
This weather update is brought to you by the Take Charge Business Efficiency Program. Over 400 businesses have saved energy and taken charge of their bottom line. Find out how you can too.
Welcome back once again. And Ryan, I'm still thinking about what you said in the last hit. When is a frost warning not a frost warning?
Yeah.
You know, it seems crazy. A few days ago, you would have been saying there's a frost warning, and now it's not.
That's right. So,
but it's still frost warning.
That's right. There's still a good chance of frost tonight, but because the calendar has changed to October, we no longer fall under that warning area or that warning time. So for the months of June, July, August, and September, Environment Canada will issue frost advisories. For the month of October, they pretty much assume.
Right, there's always a potential risk for it.
Exactly, it becomes so frequent that no longer really an advisory needed. If you still have some vegetables in the garden, just make sure you keep a close eye on the forecast.
Everybody would ignore it if it came every night anyway.
Exactly,
Right.
That's exactly it. And that's probably the biggest reason why it's dropped. So there is a chance tonight for most areas of central western parts of Newfoundland. It's really going to be staying blustery in the east. And that's really one of the big themes for tonight into tomorrow morning. Drizzle in the east, and the wind is going to be from the north. It's going to be gusting 50, 60, even 70 kilometers per hour along parts of the coast. So Tuesday morning is going to be not very nice in the east. Even if the drizzle happens to let up, the wind is going to be there. Clouds will dominate. So it's going to be a very cool start to the day. Lots of sunshine pretty much everywhere else. Showers will move back in for late tomorrow in through western Newfoundland. Everybody else for Wednesday. Here's where it's a beautiful looking evening. How about this? Harbor Breton, 12 degrees right now, sunshine, winds in from the north, and a beautiful picture there as the sun starts to set. But look at those winds sustained at 50 kilometers per hour. Now that is at the weather station at Sagona, just south of the Harbor Breton area. And you can see where the temperatures are chilly, 7, 8 degrees, even 6 in Gander right now, 5 in Cartwright. And the winds pretty much telling the story right in from the north. This is a cool October air mass and sustained winds again, and there are your gusts up to 50 in Bonavista right now, and those will likely strengthen through the overnight in places like Bonavista and across the Avalon as this next system that's off to the south will be skirting to our east tonight, and that pressure difference between this high coming in and this low passing to the east, well, that'll really get the winds racing in from the north, especially along that northeast coast and for the Avalon tonight. With those northerly winds comes the cloud cover, and yes, as I mentioned, that chance of drizzle that lingers into mainly Tuesday morning. The Avalon, wouldn't rule it out for Clarenville, but I think the better chance is mainly just the Bonavista Peninsula and the Avalon Peninsula for tomorrow morning. As we roll throughout the day, area of high pressure will wander eastward, and that will help to push that cloud cover and clear things in terms of the northeast coastline. Although those northerly winds are going to keep temperatures cool. On the other side of the province, we've got the building clouds and a pretty good chance of some afternoon showers. Labrador City, Churchill Falls, increasing clouds, Happy Valley, Goose Bay towards the north coast. And this system will move in across Labrador for Wednesday. Isolated shower chance for the island on Wednesday as well, but again, minor. We'll talk about that more in detail with your long range coming up in a few minutes. So there are your overnight lows. As I mentioned, I think areas from Grand Falls, Windsor, I think Gander with the cloud cover and the northerly winds likely strong enough to keep frost away there. But Grand Falls, Windsor towards Corner Brook, southern Labrador, those are your best frost possibilities tonight as winds will be light enough and temperatures cold enough. And have a look at your forecast for St. John's. Chance of drizzle tomorrow. Check those winds gusting 60, even 70 along parts of the coast. High of 7 tomorrow. Yeah, not so nice. Tomorrow evening, we'll start to really see those skies brightening up as the sun sets, and we are looking at temperatures near 6 degrees, but partly cloudy skies. There's that chance of drizzle again. Bonavista down through the Avalon region tomorrow. Brighter as you work your way west, and we are talking about 12 to even 14 degrees. Places like Burgeo tomorrow, nicely shielded from that northerly wind, which will be generally light for the west coast and even become a little bit southwesterly late day. For Labrador, we're talking about winds becoming southwest, and so temperatures warming into the 9, 10, 11, even 12 degree range through Happy Valley, Goose Bay, and we'll talk more about that long range forecast in just a few minutes.
Thanks, Ryan. Well, Mental Illness Awareness Week is now underway, and this year's event is receiving more attention following the recent suicide of RCMP Corporal Trevor O'Keefe.
O'Keefe suffered from post-traumatic stress disorder and took his life on September 11th. Today, the Royal Newfoundland Constabulary and a mental health advocacy group called Channel came together to talk about the challenges.
And here now's Terry Roberts was there, and as you'll hear, O'Keefe's death weighed heavily on the minds of those speaking.
That saddens me. I understand it. I understand the pressures of these jobs. I understand what some people have a very difficult time trying to pull themselves away from scenes that they encounter, even from relationships that they develop with families. And families that are looking for answers, and sometimes you just don't have the answers. There are no answers.
Some suicides are certainly preventable. Unfortunately, not all are. That's not a statement that's going to say, oh, well, we can't save everybody. Certainly not the intent. The intent behind that is just like cancer, just like diabetes, sometimes people lose or battle with the illness. I say this is a stark reminder for us that we can never give up the battle in terms of our own selves fighting the illness, but also as society trying to make it better. It's an evolution. Are we where we need to be? Absolutely not, but we're heading in the right direction.
It's unrealistic for me or anybody in society to think that you can put on a uniform and you're going to be different. If I show up today in a pair of jeans and a t-shirt, nobody expects that bulletproof kind of attitude for me, but if I put on this uniform, all of a sudden I have to deal with it. Look, our officers deal with all the other stresses that people deal with in life. They have children that get sick, they have parents that get sick, so they carry all of this burden with them every day that they come to work, and yet they're expected to go see this stuff, deal with families that are going through terrible times in their lives, and think that they're not going to be impacted. I think we need to learn more. We're going to do more. We're going to reach out to whoever we need to reach out to in this community that have the answers. I don't know that all the answers are there, quite frankly. I don't know how you hired an employee that's immune to these types of incidents. When you show up to a fatality or a homicide or a child that's been abused, you're expected to have the answers, to be able to take control. And when you're there, you're probably putting on that mask that because you're filling that role for that day, but to be able to go home and walk away from it, I don't know that it's that simple. We don't expect our officers to deal with this alone. We know this is a tough job, and we're going to do what we can to support them when they get exposed to these types of injuries.
Typically, warm lines in their first month get about 50 calls. In our first month, last May, we had 500 calls. And so we're actually approaching 10,000 calls on the line in just 15 months. So our resources are extremely limited, being able to meet the demand that's ever increasing. We've started using the language in our workplace that it's not about it's nice to take care of yourself, but it's a job requirement. You must take care of yourself. You must debrief, because those are the only ways that we're going to stay healthy.
I think we've done a good job, quite frankly, to reduce the stigma. We had a female officer that spoke out. We had another officer the other day that's retired that wrote into the Telegram. I've had officers that have contacted me. So I think we're getting there, but I think we've got a long way to go.
Obviously, the public conversation about this issue is having an impact with all the response to the warm line, for sure. Keep the conversation going. Now, if you or anyone you know is experiencing a mental health crisis, the number to call is 1-888-737-4668.
Or you can call Channel's Warm Line. It's a confidential peer support line for people living with mental health issues, delivered by individuals with mental health issues. And that number is 1-855-753-2560. Waste from electronics is building up in the Middle East. We'll hear how MUN is playing a key role in the cleanup. Welcome back to Here and Now. A researcher from Memorial University is playing a key role in cleaning up electronic waste in the Middle East. Hundreds of waste burning sites scar the West Bank. Truckloads of discarded electronics cross the border daily from Israel. As Chris O'Neill Yates reports, it's a project that's bringing Israeli and Palestinian governments together to find a solution.
One person's trash is another's treasure, even if it's toxic. 40 trucks a day from Israel bring everything from computers to refrigerators, washers and dryers to villages here in the West Bank, where they burn the electronic components to extract the valuable bits. Copper wire, aluminum, and other metals fetch good money in the market.
It's become the main source of livelihood in these regions, but at the same time, it's had a wealth of public health and environmental problems.
John Michael Davis wanted to do something about those problems. He's been traveling from Newfoundland to the West Bank for over 5 years. His research focuses on how to clean up the mess from hundreds of burn sites and make recycling e-waste safer.
This is their primary source of income, and if you were to cut them off from this source, they would be left with this toxic legacy while still being kind of driven into higher levels of unemployment.
We had to really battle there and to convince a range of stakeholders, both on the Palestinian and on the Israeli side.
Yaakov Garb says having Davis as a partner on this project has been an advantage.
The Canadian presence is seen as a neutral, fair broker in the area. So John Michael was just very broadly accepted in the villages.
Reflecting, it was very interesting doing research there as a Canadian because you have this very to a large extent, neutral status. So I was able to see the flow of e-waste on both sides of the border and kind of be a gateway.
Davis and Garb managed to get almost $3 million in funding.
The first part of the project is to clean the worst of those sites, to reduce the risk from the worst of those sites and take that contaminated soil and ash to a proper waste treatment facility in Israel.
So instead of shutting down this dangerous industry, they're introducing safer, more environmentally friendly techniques, such as grinding to extract the valuable components. With more than 500 waste sites, there is no quick or easy fix to this persistent environmental problem. But the most difficult part may be solved, now that the Palestinian Authority and the Israelis agree on a way forward. Chris O'Neill Yates, CBC News, St. John's.
Well, famed chef Anthony Bourdain is still in town. As we told you last week, he was visiting Newfoundland and he hasn't left yet.
Yes, just take a look at these photos from his adventures thus far. That's quite the cod. And I guess the food fishery is over now.
I'm not sure what the dates are.
I think yesterday might have been the last day. So,
yes, we're being told. You were right, Carolyn.
Yeah. But he got a good one.
And Anthony was there with Jeremy Charles from Raymond's.
And the Merchant Tavern, yes. Interesting to see that episode.
Here is today's young athlete of the day. Adrian Skinner of Paradise is 10 and loves baseball. He played for the Paradise Phantoms in the Mosquito House League and the Mosquito A All-Star team this year.
Adrian and his team won the silver medal at the Mosquito All-Star Tournament in September.
Way to go. You're today's young athlete of the day. That medal.
Nice.
Look at the shades.
Yeah.
Very cool. So Ryan, things cooling off, but then we're going to be treated to some more milder weather.
Yeah, that's right. So we kind of, here in the east anyway, we kind of bottom out tomorrow morning through the day. Tomorrow high of only 7. We're talking high teens for Thursday, so really starting to rebound nicely. Let's have a look, and as we look at the current temperatures across North America, you can see where I've overlaid the wind contours there. The northerly flow of wind across Newfoundland, Labrador, keeping temps cool. Even the Maritimes is pretty cool right now. No, Montreal at 20 degrees there, way off to our southwest, but that's the air mass that's going to be moving into our neck of the woods slowly but surely over the next couple of days. And there is the low, and again, going to be bringing some clouds and some rain with it. That's kind of the way it works this time of year. When we get a warm push of air, it usually comes with a price tag that we will be seeing a few showers with it as well. But again, far from a washout, and we'll show you how things are going to progress over the next couple of days. Again, that low that's off to the east will pretty much stay off to the east, close enough though that it does bring clouds and some drizzle into the mix overnight tonight in through early Tuesday morning. Pretty frosty start, central, western Newfoundland and across Labrador, as I mentioned earlier. As we move through the day on Tuesday, winds becoming southwesterly in Labrador with clouds and showers building in there. Newfoundland, it's a beautiful Tuesday afternoon for most of us, though. Again, watch for that northerly wind, keeping temps just 7-8 degrees with those gusts upwards of 60, even 70 kilometers per hour, especially through the morning hours along the northeast coast. Looking at 11 degrees in Happy Valley Goose Bay, or I should say Labrador City, and 12 in Happy Valley Goose Bay. As that next system rolls through, again, we'll see some isolated shower chances across the island on Wednesday, but very isolated. Looking at generally a sun-cloud mix with the clouds more dominant than the sun, but certainly the sun in the mix on Wednesday. And for Labrador, those clouds and showers really starting to build back in as the next wave from that system moves through. Double digits low in Labrador, a little cooler in the north, but dry. And there are those 15 degrees for Happy Valley Goose Bay, and also Gander with those isolated shower chances. I think St. John's in the southeast does stay dry on Wednesday. Temperatures rebounding into that 12 to 14 degree range. Watch your timeline here. For Thursday morning, pretty good chance of showers, I think, from start to finish on Thursday, with the clouds certainly dominating. And then that cold front will start to slice through for Thursday afternoon into the overnight. And because of the timing of that, I'm not sure that Corner Brook and Port aux Basques on the west coast get into that really warm stuff on Thursday. But from Grand Falls, Windsor, Gander, St. John's, we're talking about, yeah, high teen possibilities, 16, 17, 18 degrees. Some forecast models even flirting with a little bit warmer than that. So we'll keep our fingers crossed and keep you posted over the next couple of days. There are those low single digits in Labrador on the back side of that system. And so you know the drill this time of year. What goes up must come down. Temperatures do start to bottom out on the island, of course, for Friday and into Saturday, with more shower chances for the weekend, though a pretty uncertain setup, I must say, for the weekend at this point with the forecast models at odds. And for Labrador, again, really bottoming out temperature-wise again Thursday and into Friday, and even into Saturday in Lab West.
Well, Muskrat Falls continues to make news. Last week, the Premier announced an inquiry will be launched this fall. Last month, there were more questions about financial transparency when the Telegram reported there are hundreds of contractors working on the project and details of their compensation are off limits. Now, CBC News has learned many top managers and directors at Muskrat Falls are being paid through their personal or family companies. That means the Sunshine List doesn't apply. Rob Antle recently spoke about that to Nalcor CEO Stan Marshall.
Employed by Nalcor,
right?
So your compensation, your salary, your benefits are all a matter of public record, and they're published once a year on the Sunshine List.
Right.
It appears in these cases, if you have an employee named John Doe who's a senior manager with the Lower Churchill Project, you're not employing John Doe, you're employing John Doe Incorporated, who is then employing John Doe. And because you're employing a company that employs somebody else, the same information that would be released if you were employing the person can't be released. Is that accurate?
I think that's true.
How does that make any sense?
It may not make much sense to you, but if you're looking at it from the standpoint of the person doing the contract, that their rates, for example, may be sensitive because they're competing with other people, and they've given us a rate which may be higher and lower than they're giving another person. So I can understand why they want to protect it, and that's what drives it. If this is information that the contractor would normally keep confidential, then under the legislation, we are required to keep it confidential as well.
How do taxpayers know they're getting the best bang for their buck here?
Well, there are a lot of checks and balances here. And at the end of the day, the big picture comes out. For example, how much is this costing the management of the project compared to the overall costs? So there are a lot of parameters you can use, and all the parameters will be there, and at the end of the day, they will show that we're in reasonable bounds. So it's not that I don't want to release some of this information. Quite frankly, I mean, like I say, my own information is released. If it was up to me, I'd release it. But I'm bound by the legislation, and I understand what legislation is there. But we, as a corporation, do a lot of things in checks and balances to observe that these things are reasonable and fair. For example, we do have some of our own people in there, and they are generally monitoring the overall picture. For example, we have 3 auditors that are there full time, looking at these things. And right now, since last year, they've been actually focusing on compensation.
To national news now, where Edmonton police have charged a 30-year-old Somali refugee in connection with a series of attacks, some involving vehicles. Investigators outlined the criminal charges today.
5 counts of attempted murder, dangerous driving, for criminal flight causing bodily harm, ×5, and Section 88, Sub 1, possession of a weapon for a dangerous purpose.
Abdullahi Hassan Sharif is scheduled for a bail hearing tomorrow morning. It's alleged he plowed a car into a police barricade and repeatedly stabbed an officer Saturday evening. 4 people were also injured by a rental truck fleeing the scene. The RCMP is now heading the investigation. They haven't ruled out laying terrorism charges in the future. Sharif was previously investigated, that was 2 years ago, on suspicions he had been radicalized, but no charges were laid at that time.
And in the wake of the attacks, Edmontonians joined together in solidarity last night at a vigil for Saturday's victims.
We stand. We stand together. All faiths, all cultures. We will not be divided.
Together against fear. Hundreds of people gathered at the city's Churchill Square to share that sentiment.
The trial of 3 men charged in the Lac-Mégantic train disaster has begun in Sherbrooke, Quebec. Each faces 47 counts of criminal negligence causing death. The accused are train engineer Thomas Harding, railway traffic controller Richard Labrie, and manager of train operations Jean Desmartres. They are charged in connection with the crash and subsequent explosion that killed 47 people in 2013. Today, the judge reminded jurors to only make their decision after hearing all the evidence. All 3 men have pleaded not guilty.
Well, it's official. Canada has a new Governor General. Julie Payette was sworn in today during an elaborate ceremony in Ottawa.
Do you, Julie Payette, solemnly affirm that you will be faithful and bear true allegiance to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, Queen of Canada, her heirs and successors?
I do.
Payette took her oath of office in the Senate's Red Chamber. It was crowded with dignitaries and special guests, including members of the Supreme Court, former prime ministers, astronauts, and Payette's family. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau hailed Payette as both a team player and trailblazer who has used her science expertise to educate and inspire. Payette spoke from the heart, saying she was privileged and honored to represent Canadians. She called herself both an optimist and a pragmatist.
try hard to work together, then we may have a chance to find the answers, and we may be able to tackle global issues, serious and pressing global issues like climate change and migration, nuclear proliferation, poverty, population growth.
Payette said she would seek to bridge differences and celebrate what Canada is and what it may become. She also paid tribute to her predecessor, David Johnston, saying he would be a tough act to follow. Well, a trio of American-born scientists have just been awarded the Nobel Prize for Medicine.
Nobel Assembly at Karolinska Institutet has today decided to award the 2017 Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine jointly to Jeffrey C. Hall, Michael Rosbach, and Michael W. Young for their discoveries on molecular mechanisms controlling the circadian rhythm.
Translation, they've been awarded for their discoveries about the human body's daily rhythms, specifically our biological clocks and how they adapt to synchronize with Earth's revolutions. Their discoveries help explain issues like jet lag and how it can increase risks for certain diseases.
All right, time to have a look at your picture of the day, and unfortunately I'm gonna have to give it away where it's from, but a beautiful preview here. You can see from Lee. Hopefully you didn't see the name of the provincial park, which we'll quiz you on after the break.
A brief entertainment note now. After a brief drop from the top, it looks like It is once again leading the box office.
There's this clown. Yeah, I saw him too.
It was the fourth weekend in theaters for the hit horror film. It fended off some very tough competition from newcomers like Kingsman: The Golden Circle and Tom Cruise's American Made. Each movie drew about 17 million apiece, with It edging out American Made by just a few 100,000.
The ageless Tom Cruise. Have a look at your picture of the day. Again, before the break, I kind of gave it away that it was on the Avalon. Cataracts Provincial Park.
I've never been.
Never been either, and it's along Route 91, I believe, there along the Southern Avalon, just north of St. Mary's Bay, and you can see beautiful shot there.
Definitely worth a trip to see. That's
so.
lovely. Look at the rocks, and yeah, very, very nice. Thanks to Lee for sending that. And that just...
Note the leaves changing color there, too.
You definitely can see it.
I have to make note of that, of course.
Of course, your eye would be drawn to all weather-related things, which reminds us that we need our warm coats tomorrow.
Yes, definitely.
Scarf time.
Anyway, thanks for being with us, everyone. See you tomorrow.
Good night.
Good night.